Talk to David Haye. A quick thought from Barry McGuigan. Barry, Lennox Lewis predicts a Mayweather win. He says Hatton needs to do it in the first 4 rounds for victory.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mayweather is definitely the favourite. My heart says Hatton, my head says Mayweather. He's got to push Mayweather back. He's got to stay on top and put the pressure on him. I think Mayweather's going to try and pickpocket the fight, steal as many shots, offset him, and then grab a hold of him on the inside, look to the referee to break him up and get out at distance again. It's a very tough fight, and I really hope that Ricky can do it, but my head says Mayweather.
Colin, a quick thought. Lennox Lewis sensibly says he's had offers in the last few months to make comebacks, but he's turning them down, and he's a wise man.
Well, no cynics say that every man has a price, but I think Lennox very wise. He's been out the ring nearly 5 years, you know, and it would be absolute crazy for him to come back, and I think he knows it.
Another expert view now then from David Haye, Britain's WBC and WBA Cruiserweight champion. Hello, David.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, fine. Lennox says you can be a heavyweight champion. That's okay to hear that this morning?
Yeah, it's great. It's great news to hear from obviously one of my massive heroes. Lennox has cleaned up the division for many years. I've actually worked with Lennox in the gym before. He's seen me sparring. Whenever I'm out in Miami, he always comes down to help out. And yeah, he knows his stuff, and the fingers crossed, you know, he really does, and I can go out there and clean up the heavyweight division.
Yeah, that would be okay, wouldn't it? Not bad.
Sure.
So, Hatton against Mayweather, you've just been involved in a big fight this last few days, the psychological build-up, what's he going to be going through?
I was with Hatton a couple of weeks ago, about 10 days ago, and he seemed so fired up. He seemed so... He was 2 pounds over his weight. Normally, he really struggles with his weight. He really does have to graft. He was a couple of weeks to go. To be 2 pounds over your weight, he was so comfortable. He was actually worried that he was too light, and that's a good problem to have, you know. Because I can't stress how much the weight factor, how much he blows up between fights, and for him to hold his weight down and do the type of training he's doing, he can now eat good quality lean foods and have to train. He can eat, train, and then eat again. He's not having to sacrifice meals to get down to that weight, and I think that could be the key for this fight for him.
Who do you think will win the day?
I think Hatton will win in a spectacular fight. I think he was going to struggle in the first 3 rounds simply because Mayweather is that fast and that technically good, but I do not feel that Mayweather has got the heart that Hatton has. He hasn't been in the struggles that Hatton has. I've watched Mayweather training. He seems like he trains in his comfort zone. He doesn't dig deep. You don't see that grimace on his face every time he hits the bag. He just sort of goes through the motions. I think he's a victim of his own success. He's too good for his own good, and he hasn't had to dig deep.
Sure.
And this time I feel he's going to have to dig deep, because Hatton's a wrecking ball. He really is. He's going to come forward and he's going to throw some ridiculous amount of punches. He's going to hurt Mayweather's body, and he's going to grind him down.
We shall see. You're going to the fight, aren't you? You can be our ringside reporter next week from Vegas. We'll ring you up next week, okay?
If I can talk, if I'm not screaming too loud.
All right, we'll ring you this time next week. Enjoy the fight. Thanks for coming on. Let's get the views now of a young boxer who's making quite an impact as a pro. Next Saturday, the eve of the Hatton contest, Amir Khan will have his 14th professional contest when he defends his title, his Commonwealth lightweight title, against Graham Earl in Bolton. He's on the line. Hello, Amir.
Oh, you alright?
Yeah, fine, thanks. This is the sort of fight you're going to be involved in one day, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I've always said, you know, one day I want to be in America, fight in the big scene, and be where we can. You know, yeah, it's like a dream come true for me one day, yeah.
Knowing boxing so well as you do, who's the favourite in your view? I suppose you've got to side with Mayweather, but do you see Hatton being able to win this one?
Yeah, I think Hatton can do it. You know, we've seen him train and the way he's been for this fight, and he's just totally different, you know. Strength-wise and everything else has just been so great for him. But yeah, we have to back the British fighter. I think Hatton's going to go there and do a job on him. You know, everyone knows how good Mayweather is with his hand speed, but I don't think he's ever fought anyone as good as Ricky Hatton.
Well, next Saturday, it's your latest fight. It's also your 21st birthday on Saturday. That's an interesting way to spend your 21st.
That's right, yeah, I've always said, you know, it's the best celebration you can have, fighting in the ring, and it's a tough fight for me as well, you know, against Graham Earl. So, yeah, it's going to be like a birthday present for me, that fight is, and after that, we can watch the Ricky Hatton fight, so it's going to be a good day of boxing.
All right, well, I wish you well in that. And just one final thought. You said you'd like to be a world champion at 21. Do you see yourself fighting for the world title next year, Amir?
Definitely. You know, the way things are going at the moment, they're going so great. You know, I want to get this fight over with against Graham Mill, fight the British champion, and then move on to bigger things, the European and the world title. I really say in about 4 to 5 fights I can be a world champion, and hopefully that'll be next year.
Okay, well, I wish you well and have a nice birthday next week.
Thank you very much.
Let's get final thoughts from our two guests, Barry McGuigan, Colin Hart. Barry, I remember sort of one of my sort of great memories of attending an event, June '85, Pedrosa, Loftus Road, 15 rounds. I still remember it vividly. How well do you remember it?
Yeah, a bit like Lennox, really. You know, once you hear the commentary, and you know you just feel like you're transplanted and right back there. It was a fantastic night, and I really hope that it can be a fantastic night for Ricky Hatton too. He's a lovely guy. There's so much lovable about him, and he's an amazing fighter. Tough as hell, comes at you non-stop. He really will have to fight the fight of his life Saturday night, and you know, I really hope he can do it. I just hope that Cortez will allow him to work on the inside and won't break them up too much, and he'll stay on top of Mayweather, back him up and just beat him up. And I agree with what the guys are saying. It seems like Mayweather has been complaining about, you know, aches and pains, and he feels like he's getting old, his body's breaking up. It was a hell of a thing to admit to on this 24/7 program that Colin talked about. But you know, it was terribly bad for him psychologically, and good for Hatton, and Hatton's was buoyed by that, and he really feels up about it. But let's not forget about it. It's a really tough fight for him, and this guy is pretty amazing, brilliant hand speed, and it's going to be a hell of a fight. I hope Hatton can do it. I just think Mayweather will be too quick for him, and he'll use the referee and as I say, pickpocket the fight.
Okay, Barry, thank you very much. You're going to join us next week, I think, to give your views on the fight. Thanks for your contribution this morning. Final thoughts from Colin Hart. You've witnessed a few upsets in the past. Hunnigan went to America, didn't he, against Don Curry in '86?
I was there that night, and also Buster Douglas, who was 42-1 against Tyson. So upsets do happen, but logically, you cannot pick Hatton to beat Mayweather. Your heart can tell you that, but your head tells you, as the boys have been saying, you know, Mayweather is too quick, too clever, and too experienced as well. I mean, he's been a 5-time world champion, and it will be a great fight because Hatton will make it a great fight. But I don't think Hatton's heart. He's got to jump on him right from the opening bell. We know that, but whether he can sustain it, I doubt it very much.